As a preliminary matter, this is Jonathan Robbins, Property Tax Assistance and Taxation Aid Committee's Chair. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Jill Kahn?
Here.
Oh, sorry. When I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Thank you. Helen Newton is not here.
She is joining right now.
Oh, great. Hi, Helen.
Hi.
So we're just asking everyone to affirm that they are in attendance. So can you please affirm?
This is Helen Newton. I'm in attendance.
Awesome. Stanley Winston.
Present.
Patrick Wren.
Here.
And Evie Pones.
Yes.
Wonderful. Good evening. This open meeting of the Property Tax Assistance and Taxation Aid Committees is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. For this meeting, the Property Tax Assistance and Taxation Aid Committees are convening by Zoom app as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I ask that if a member wishes to speak, they raise their hand, at which time the chair will acknowledge them and announce their name. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. Okay, thank you. So I think we now, Evie, tell me if I'm incorrect, want to review and approve the minutes of the meeting we held on February 24th, 2021. I have, Evie, how should we do that? I mean, I have reviewed them and approved them. Should we go through by name and ask everyone to do so?
I will go first. I will make a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting held on February 24th, 2021. Do we have a second?
I second.
Patrick Deckett seconds. Any further discussion on the minutes?
Third.
All those in favor, you roll call vote.
Do a roll call vote?
Do a roll call vote, yeah.
Okay, Helen.
Agree.
Okay, Jill.
Sure.
Stanley.
Agreed.
Patrick.
Approved. Agreed.
Evie.
Yes,
And I agree as well.
and the chair votes yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll get there.
Okay, we're good.
Next, I think we want to review and comment on the racial equity statement from the town of Needham that Evie forwarded to us by email, and that I believe is probably available on the town website.
Jonathan, you want me to discuss it a little bit if I may?
Please.
That's someone else's. Feel free to jump in at any time, and I have to apologize in advance. I may have a tendency to take over the meeting, so you can stop me at any moment. In 2020, the select board began the Needham Unite Against Racism initiative. The initiative put in writing their policy against racial profiling. I mean, I don't have to remind everyone of everything that's been going on in the country And just the most publicized right now is the George Floyd issue that's going on. But we had Rodney King, Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor, Eric Gardner, Freddie Groy, just to name a few. And every day, people are of color are murdered on the street. The grandmother who was killed on her doorstep while she was sitting there with her grandchild planning a cookout by a random shooter. So I'm very, very pleased that the select board has brought racial equity to the forefront. And they would, in a short, like all the boards, to join in the conversation and either adopt their vision policy and statement. It's a very thorough document. It took a lot of time and a lot of meetings and a lot of wordsmithing and discussion to make sure that everything in it was right and no one took offense to any of the language. So I guess what I'm looking for, what the select board is looking for, is some feedback on their policy and comments, and eventually whether this committees would like to adopt their policy as written or develop their own policy. So I would then turn it back to the chair and ask if you have any comments or concerns, or if you would like to adopt the select board's policy. So anybody have any comments, concerns? Like to move forward?
Adopt what the select board has put together. I'd be in favor of that.
Okay, so you're making a motion, Stanley, to adopt the select board's visions and principles regarding racial inequity in the town?
Correct.
I second that.
Okay,
Okay, should I take a roll call vote?
yeah, ask for further discussion.
Oh,
Any
sorry.
further discussion? Okay, now take your roll call. All in favor?
Okay. I go through one by one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Helen?
I'm in favor, yes.
Okay, Jill?
Yes, in favor.
Stanley?
In favor.
Patrick?
Yes, in favor.
Evie?
Yes,
And the chair's in favor as well.
okay. Okay,
Okay. So next on our agenda, third, is an update for the Committee on Funds Available for Distribution. Evie, can I know, can we get an overview from you on that?
yeah, we spoke a little bit about this before the meeting actually began, but right now we have 19,100 out of the voluntary to distribute. We haven't had that much in God, how many years? I don't know, but in a lot of years. I think part of it was due to the COVID, people being at home, not going on vacation, having a little extra money, saying, oh, I'll just throw an extra few bucks in the envelope, because we did get some significant donations from individuals. And in addition to that, we have the appropriation, which was increased this year to 50,000. So in short, we've got $69,100 to award. We have 25 applicants. Several of them right off the top are not qualified. So I need to know what the committees would like to do, because I'm confused as to whether we should work from the annual appropriation piece instead of the voluntary piece in making awards, or do it the traditional way by awarding from the voluntary and then having the appropriation based on the percentage of voluntary.
Do they both roll over if not used, or does one, they both do?
They both do. The only thing is if people with the appropriation, if specific committees and individuals and they have a right question why we didn't award everything, that could create a conversation. You know what I'm saying? So we gave you 50,000, but why didn't you distribute it to the residents of Needham? That's my only concern. And we did one year reserve some of it and there was no question about it, but remember, Helen, Jill?
Yes, yes.
So
So it sounds like with that as background, it makes sense to start from the appropriation.
you want to try that, that's up to you. I mean, I have no specific opinion either way. But it's a lot. And we may not award all of either one.
Mhm.
Well, this is Helen. As I recall, we always leave a balance in the fund. Right? We always leave
And
something.
voluntary,
The voluntary, we always
Right.
leave something there for the following year,
right?
right? So I forget what you said. I was gonna say I would go with the latter version, but the latter version was what we always do, right?
Mhm.
So,
We assign, we award the money, a certain amount of money, and then we go for the percentage and use the other fund, but we always leave some money in the fund.
In other words, base the awards on the voluntary
Yeah,
and then do the percentage from the appropriation.
right. That's what we usually do, right?
That would be awarding the entire $50,000 of appropriation. As opposed to doing it in reverse. I don't want to make things more complicated, believe me.
No, yeah.
So if we
Well, it's not-
awarded from the appropriation and started an award higher than the $600 and worked from there, and then did the voluntary based on what we awarded on the 50,000,
Right,
we'd be awarding more out of the 50,000 than we would be
okay.
normally.
so I mean, to me, again, I'm curious if there's a reason behind it, but look, any award is I'm sure appreciated, but the need for some of these people is real and surpasses $600 to $700, even if doubled. So is there any particular reason we wouldn't just be able to be a little more generous this year, given the additional funds?
Oh, no, we definitely, oh, yes, oh, definitely. I'm saying no, I definitely would,
Right,
definitely, yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, why don't we just go forward and see what we want to do?
Okay.
So I think what I'm kind of hearing is you want to just start with the voluntary, an award from the voluntary, and then base whatever that award is, percentage of the total on the 50,000.
I'll make a vote to do it the opposite way, and here's why. This particular year, for whatever reason, we have fewer applicants, but we got a very generous appropriation from the town. I have to believe if we don't award all of that or a substantial amount of it, if we go back and ask for a similarly generous donation in future fiscal years, there's going to be a reasonable question of, why do you need that much? You didn't even use it last year. So it seems to me it makes the most sense to use as much of that as possible, with if unless I'm missing something.
No, I understand. I agree. Lose my,
Just to be clear, to clarify though, I think it sounds like what you've done in the past, and I'm just making numbers up for an example, is you've said we have 25 applicants. If we were to give to all 25, I know we probably won't for various reasons of qualification, but if we gave them each 500 times 25, that's like 12,500. We've taken that out of the 19, and then we've divvied up the whole 50 pro rata based on what they received out of the voluntary. And if we did that, for example, then we'd be leaving roughly $7,000 in the voluntary for next year, but we give out the whole 50. Just that sounds like that's what we've done in the past.
that's what we've done in the past.
Oh, I misunderstood. Okay. So we would use, under that formula, we would use 100% of the appropriation.
Correct.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood that. Okay.
I know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to complicate it. I didn't mean to-
Okay, so in that case, then that makes sense. Let's just stick with the way we've done in the past.
So
Yes.
let's start. I think I can pull this spreadsheet up. If I pull the spreadsheet up, I can't see you guys, but I guess that's okay. I don't know, I'm really not a pro at this.
As you're pulling it up, is there any magic? Some of mine are are green on the cover and some are white. Is there any?
Oh, that was just the copy machine.
Okay, I didn't know if there was some secret code there. Okay,
Some applications came to us green, so the copy machine copied them green. Some came to us white, so they copied them white. No, I'm sorry, there's no. And you
okay,
also see some boxes on my spreadsheet that are yellow. Disregard those as well. Just don't pay attention to those.
I had that
Like,
question.
okay,
Okay,
it's the old, what is it? Oh, God, it went right out of my head. Oriental rug theory. Did you ever hear that? It's only perfect if it hasn't flaw. Okay, all right.
I'll
so
have to use that sometime.
I use it a lot, believe me. Okay,
I love it.
so should we look at applicant number 1?
so we should look at applicant number 1. Applicant number 1 has not applied in, well, I sent everyone 2 spreadsheets. One of them was FY20 and one of them was FY21. FY20 showed us who and what was awarded in 2020, and then the 21 would be the prospective awards. And they, number 1, did not receive anything in 20. So,
Did they apply? Abby, did they apply?
no, they're not on my sheet.
It doesn't sound familiar. Yeah.
In
So
looking,
new applicants. Mhm.
in looking at their income, which I had to get from their 1040 because they said 0. The income is $30,303. They do have about $85,000 in investments. So
It
we
says
normally,
72,
we normally
right?
72.5 and then 12.3.
Oh,
Yeah, 72.5, sorry.
oh, yeah.
We normally do take that into consideration
Mhm.
in making an award. So did anybody have any, I don't want to do all the talking here, so.
I had a question.
Mhm.
If you look at the returns, I just want to make sure I'm looking at the right thing. If you look at lines 5A and 6A on the 1040 SR, it seems to me a total of roughly 40,000 in income between pensions and annuities and social security benefits. But we're looking at the line 9 30,000 number.
Looking at the adjusted,
We're looking at AGI, because I thought I may have misread this, but I thought in our guidelines, we look at gross income.
well, there is a portion by statute of Social Security that we cannot consider.
I see.
So when we look at the taxable amount under Social Security, on this particular individual, it was $5,041. Sometimes they only have Social Security, so that's what we have to look at.
Okay.
But if it is a taxable, if they file a 1040 and there is a taxable portion, we take that into consideration as opposed to the whole benefit.
Okay. So when we look at gross income, we're looking at gross really taxable income.
Taxable plus any investments. So maybe that's where the word gross comes in. Any investments that they may have, any.
Okay, we may want to just a note, just revise a little bit. I know we talked about this last time, the eligibility, item 5, because it talks there about gross income from all sources, including Social Security. We may just want to be clear that we're looking at taxable Social Security amounts or, Social Security benefits that are subject to calculation or, something like that.
What if I put adjusted gross income?
That works as well.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But like I said, if somebody only has Social Security, you will see that.
Okay, no, thank you for that clarification. That I just wanted to make sure I was thinking about this the right way.
So do we want to start with applicant number 1? As far as an amount, if any. 2 people, age 85 and 86.
So I will say that I'm in favor of an award here. Is the award the right terminology?
Mhm.
Yeah, an award. I'm going to defer to some of my colleagues on amounts because I want to be consistent with past practice, so.
I would think maybe 700, 750 because of their age. And the fact is for Needham, they're not living in, a 5,000 square foot home that has a crazy tax bill, whatever. They're living in a modest for Needham home. They're in their 80s. And so I would give them a significant award, which for us would be around 750, just throwing a number out.
Don't like not being able to. Okay, so do we have 750? Which would it be?
750.
Okay, do we have a motion to, I think what we do at the end is, instead of making a motion and a vote on every single one,
Mhm,
we do it all in one motion. to
mhm,
award
That makes
X
sense.
amount of dollars to X amount of applicants.
mhm.
So, it's kind of an agreement type thing. Does everyone agree on 700,
No, I was saying 750.
50.
750? Okay,
Agreed.
I can't do.
Helen, do you agree?
Okay, so I've got my spreadsheet mixed up, so I'm gonna have to do this by hand. I'm sorry. It's gonna be fancy to do it on the computer, but I can't put the numbers in. Okay, 750. Okay,
Helen, are you there also? I think we lost Helen.
okay. All right, applicant number 2 is, they have applied. They have been a recipient of this award since 2006. So they have been involved with the program for many, many years, and the husband is deceased, so it's one
Mhm.
individual, age 89. They only have a calendar, they have an income of 16,818, if I got it right. And yeah, see, this is purely Social Security. So, it's difficult in looking at these
Mhm,
when they have no other income.
mhm.
And they did not provide us any financial background. But like I said, they have applied every single year. Last year, their income. This is
It was about the same,
16,632.
right? And was very close to the same last year. And they're driving a much older model car. I'm trying to maintain anonymity here, but I mean that, I take that sort of thing into consideration as well.
Last
Yeah.
year, they received 700. In
But we have more funds this year and we have fewer applicants, so I would say like 850 or something along those lines, if anyone else has other ideas. This is
Right,
one
because I think
person
it's,
in their 80s.
right, because for reference, if we, divide 19,000 by 25, right, it's 760 per person.
So you're being more specific than.
No, but there's a
I
couple
see
we
that.
aren't gonna,
They're not
probably a couple
covered.
that won't be eligible, so.
I'm
So,
open. I mean, it's fine.
I would support 850. I think that's,
Yeah.
Mhm.
are you in agreement, Stanley?
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
Agreed.
I'm just wondering, is Helen still with us? Because we seem to have lost her.
You might have dropped off. Oh, wait, she's back on in a second. I don't know what happened. Something happened.
Should we wait for her or proceed or what?
She's coming now.
Okay,
She can hear us. She's got her camera off.
okay, but just wanted
Now,
to,
awarded applicant number 1, 750, applicant number 2, 850.
mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
okay. Okay, applicant number 3.
so one thing that confused me a little bit about applicant number 3
Yeah,
is why is there no social security income? I'm a little,
Is this Mr. let's see, I believe, I'm not mistaken, this gentleman is a musician.
I believe you're right.
Yes, he's a musician. And no income other than a small interest from my Citizens Bank account. And the 21 from purchase 2 years ago, 2 checks from COVID. Solely on my savings, and I'm starting to worry about how long that will last. I don't have medical insurance and never registered enough income tax to qualify for Social Security or Medicare. So that's in the letter that is attached
Mhm,
to
I
his.
remember this. Mhm.
I honestly didn't know that was a thing. I thought everyone got social security.
You know,
No, if you don't, if you're
you
self-employed,
don't pay into it, you don't get it back later. It's something you pay into.
you know,
If you-
if you're self-employed as well, if you file so that you take a loss every year, you're not going to pay into Social Security.
Got it. Okay.
If somebody, just so you know, Jonathan, because I know people in this situation, if somebody say was married but never worked outside the home, which was the case in many cases with people in their 80s now, and they are married, then they will get half of their spouses. But if this person wasn't, which they weren't, then they're really up a creek without the proverbial paddle. They don't get that half.
Got it. Okay.
It's very tough, I would imagine.
Last
So,
year, this individual had $20,000 CD, $48,000 in the bank, and $100 in stock. So I couldn't really tell from here, other than their bank account balance, 35,391, what happened to the rest. I mean, maybe he had to cash it and live off it, probably.
Mm.
So anyway. So unless there's any questions, he really has no specific income. And he's a long time applicant.
I would be very generous with this person, say 850, 900, maybe 900, I would say, but I'm very open.
He's 72.
Well, so he's younger than some applicants and older than others. So I mean, he's probably sort of in the middle of the age group here.
I'd say 850.
850.
I'm fine with 850.
Everybody agree with 850?
Agreed.
Applicant number 4. Friedman, oops. She did receive award last year.
Debbie, I
Yeah.
have a question on age. So one person's 69, the other person's 40.
Only
Is that
one
okay?
person
Only one person?
has to apply, has
Okay.
to be over age 60.
Okay.
Now, I based this individual receives an allotment from a trust, I believe. Not required if they income tax. So she does receive Social Security, 27.5.
This person also has some significant disabilities, again, trying to maintain anonymity here, but if you see on the other information page, they have significant illness issues
Mhm.
Oh, I marked that.
on page 4.
Yep.
Oh, right, yes. These additional information, if they supply it, is usually very helpful,
It is.
Agreed.
making us,
Mm-hmm,
decide what we want to.
Having a little color is very helpful about the
mm-hmm.
background.
So any thoughts on number 4?
I'm curious, where do we see income coming in from a trust?
I'm looking.
There was definitely one where that was the case.
Yeah, I agree, and I had questions.
Sorry,
about
this may be, oh, there's $800 a month being deposited. Oh, $800 a week, $3,200 a month.
Where is that? What page?
There's a note stating that on page 2, but I think
Okay.
Debbie's saying that it's in
That's
one of the
my
bank
note.
statements. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, this is not the one.
I think that's coming.
Oh, so it's not this individual?
So is their income the 25,800 or 25,800 plus 32,000?
Where are we, number 4?
Yes.
Yeah, it's still on number 4. Yep.
Whatever, you were just saying you think the 32,000 is somebody else, right?
No, the 32,000 is her.
Oh,
It's 3,200 though, I think.
And 30,
I think the note says 32,000, but if you go to,
$800 a week.
yeah, $800 per week is 3,200, and the note on the
Okay.
underlying checking statement shows the 3,200.
So it's
And-
3,200 a month. So it's more
what's
than
the
a month.
source of that? But what's the source of that income?
It was
No, it's
28
8
in Social Security.
For 52 weeks.
All right, so 3,200 per month
Times 12.
times 12. That would be like 38,000 or so.
Plus the 25,800.
What's the source of that 30-something thousand? I think I just stayed up too late last night with the elections and got up too early. So if I missed, what page is that on the income? Like, what's the source of that income?
If you look at I think it's the bank statement, it's
Correct.
like 3 or
Mhm.
4 from the end, 5 from the end. If you look, the balance goes up. It goes up on the 11th. There's a
Mhm.
deposit. On the 19th, there's a deposit of
But what
800.
is the source of that deposit?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think we know.
No,
That's what I was asking.
I'm
We don't
sorry. I
know.
thought you meant the source of information.
No, I don't mean like, where is it? I meant like, what's the source of that $32,000? So is it really, the income is really 32 plus the social security of the, or is it, yeah, is it, so the income is really like 60,000? 60 something? We don't know.
Hmm.
Does this have too many questions on it, Abby? If
I'm
they have
wondering-
26,000 social security and 30-something thousand from some other unknown source, then there is 60,000.
Well, I guess it depends on, back to the Jonathan's question of whether we're
If it's
doing it based on
AGI.
AGI or the full social security amount, right?
Mhm.
Well, like I said, depending on if they have no other income, we look
Yeah.
at Social Security.
So we have an accountant though saying that their income was sufficiently low that they didn't
Not fun.
have to file. But that leads to the question again, to your good question, Jill, what's the source of that then? If it's not income of some sort.
Should we find that out? Could Nancy find that out and leave this person a question, Abby? We've done that before.
In what respect?
Well, just to find out what's the source of that. Is that like some investment that is not itemized on this person's, financials? Is some investment that's paying a significant dividend that equals 30-something thousand a year? So do they really have 60,000 in income a year?
I think, and I'm gonna take the responsibility for this, I think this was my error in that $800 a week, because he's only got Social Security of 25,800. That's the only thing this person has.
Well, but we do have this checking account statement showing 3,200 a month coming in though.
Do we though? I'm totally confused.
I think so.
Take your time. It's fine. You can take your time. I mean, we're here. one time a year, not two.
Yep.
Okay,
it
sorry,
right.
bad idea, bad idea.
I'm just trying to inject some humor, sorry.
No, 100%.
It is one often lengthy meeting, especially when we have more applicants.
Yeah, I bet.
No, I'm trying to see if we see what the source of that is.
Yeah. I
So
don't see
Abby,
anything.
is it possible
What's your
that
pleasure?
you wrote that, but it's not actually correct, but it's not possible because there are these deposits,
No, it's
right?
clear there's deposit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like it's actually 4,500 on the, in February,
I
and
don't
if
know
I add those up.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I'm sorry. It,
So what do we do then?
really February.
What do we do with something like this then? Because if that is consistent income that comes in every month, I don't know that this person qualifies.
That's what I was saying, if they're really making like 60 something.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, it's two people. Even though it's not husband and wife, one is 69, the other is 40. Yeah. I would say they qualify. I mean, I do not think that their income is, even though I have it probably wrong on here.
But I have a question.
that-
I have a question though as well, Evie.
I'm sorry.
That I have a question on page 4, when this person speaks about their daughter is taking care of them and cannot work as much as they would otherwise. Well, it's saying they cannot work as very much, but we don't have any record here of that person's income, and that would need to be included. If we're looking at this pair as a couple, then we would need to have the daughter's income, right?
We should, yes.
Evie, could you look at last year's record? Don't you have that? Because you awarded them last year.
Yes, they received $1,500, $1,562. That was in 19. And in 20, they received $2,403.95.
Well, I think we need to get the daughter's income and
The
to find, yeah. You can't just say they don't work very much. What does that mean? Does that mean they earn 20,000 a year, 40,000, 15,000? I don't know what that means. Right?
Mm.
I mean, I would just say we need more information, in my opinion, but I'm open to other people's opinions.
Okay. So we need more information on this one?
I would say so. What does anybody else think?
I agree.
Agreed as well.
Like, what's the daughter's income? And is there another thing in addition besides Social Security per your note to your, on here, Evie?
I
Okay.
moved the table for
Yeah.
We've done
further.
this before. We've gone back to them and just put question mark and then just put question mark.
What I normally do is get in contact with the people and ask them for additional backup information. Okay,
Because what are those deposits in their bank statement as well?
Yeah, two questions, right? What is the
Two
daughter's
questions.
income, and what is that 4,500 of deposits in February?
Mm-hmm.
Right, because they show no investments, basically, right? They show 800 of checking or
Right.
savings account, so.
so I'm sorry, what were the two questions? The,
What about the daughter's income, if they're applying, together? And it indicates that she does work some amount.
Mm-hmm.
okay,
That's question one.
the explanation of the deposits into the account?
Yes, there's 1301 on the 11th, et cetera, 1600, a week later, 1600 a week later. What are those deposits from?
Okay, got it.
That adds up to some significant deposits each month. That's much more than the Social Security. Right?
Great. Let me see. That is the
Suppose some of that could be social security, but, because I don't see other deposits, but
Right.
anyway, it's worth the question, right?
But that would be once a month. That wouldn't.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
weekly.
3. No, I agree.
And I don't think it would be such an even number, right? I don't know that social security payments usually work out to exactly $500.
No,
It
they're
would
not even numbers.
would be $2,150 a month, $2,150 a month.
Yeah. I'm saying these deposits don't look like that, right?
Right.
look
They
like-
don't at first look, there are cents on them and they round to $1. It may not be to $50 or 0, but there aren't cents on them, I don't think. I'm pretty sure. On the end of social, doesn't look like social security. It's too high.
Okay,
So
okay. So app number 5, I think we are on.
They have received an award every year from 2009 to 2020. The only income they have, according to what I wrote on this paper, is Social Security. And they have $12,600 in bank accounts, savings. And 2 people, 81 and 87.
Yep.
So what's your pleasure?
I would support an award.
Yeah, I would think a high amount for them, right? They've been
Yeah.
in town 64 years, 59 years at the same address.
mhm.
850 or 8?
I agree, 850.
850.
Yeah, I would say 850 if we're gonna be consistent and make that our high amount.
Mhm.
Okay, number 6. Another one that has received an award in 2019 and 2020. I don't know that, that's important to you, but just a bit of information. Their income, I did verify their income, I think, 42,863 for 2 people. And they have the 29,769 in the bank.
They're a little younger. I would say award them again, 800.
800.
So I could do 800 or 750 because their finances are fairly consistent with applicant number 1. But I could do 800. I mean, that's fine.
I'm fine with 800, even though they're
800.
younger. Yeah.
Everybody agrees. I think Helen is.
fine.
Helen dropped
Yep.
it.
He's working, but the income is very modest, in my opinion.
Mhm.
The AGI, they're 12,925.
Yeah.
Or that's the profit from the business, after the business expenses. That's not AGI, sorry, I misspoke, but anyway. I think, what did we just say, 800, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, applicant number 7.
So
This is a new one, Evie, for this year?
They got one in 2020.
they did.
It doesn't say that on the applicant spreadsheet for number 7.
Oh, God, you guys are pointing all my mistakes.
They don't sound familiar, and I have one of those weird minds.
Of the
memories.
previous year.
They are on I have both spreadsheets up. They are on the 2020
All
spreadsheet
right, well, there goes my mind. That is so great. Maybe not anymore.
as number 15, applicant number 15 in 2020.
So
Okay.
this one I think was not nearly as clear to me. They have $225,000 in investments.
Mhm.
They have not a large income, but they have an income, they, I don't know. I don't know if there's a certain point at which people who have investable assets, above a certain point, we should save the funds for others who don't have that.
I would go for an award, but a smaller award based on what you're saying, because the investments, should help them, but they are younger, so they may need them for 30 more years. People live to be much older than they used to, right? I would still do an award, but I would do an award less than the other people.
Last year, we only awarded 400 from the voluntary fund for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just to add to what Jonathan said, I mean, if you note, I mean, they're of income of 41,000. And according to what they've listed here, they only have expenses of 21,000.
And they've got over 200,000 in investment.
So it seemed that they're saving money every year, at least based on what they've put on this.
Right.
Maybe 400,
All right, Joe,
400, I was saying,
I would agree.
When we
just to
say,
give them a hand, but not, but the fact is they have a lot of investments and they're young, so
And they're net positive,
that's
and
true
it
too.
seems in their earnings every year.
Mhm.
So 400,
Yeah,
everyone agrees on 400. Okay, number 8. Lombardo, I don't think they applied, no prior rewards. I have,
and anonymity.
so,
Number 8.
right,
number 8. So they claim 43,127.
we have their return. Oh, I see. We have their e-file signature authorization. That,
Which has the AGI on it of 43,000.
would, well, I guess that's all we're supposed to consider, right? Because that's materially higher than a lot of other folks we're
Mhm.
talking about.
The income is, yeah.
Interesting is they don't, this applicant doesn't list a lot of expenses. In fact, less than I would have to imagine they actually have, because there's no,
Right.
they only list home insurance and automobile expenses. I would have to imagine there's some, water, sewer, cable, internet,
Yeah, and it's very,
medical.
it's really difficult with some of these people to get them to fill out. the
Mhm.
form totally.
Understood.
So,
Right, they couldn't have $6,400 a year in expenses. That's not possible.
Yeah.
Right. And to
Unless this were
live.
1952.
Right.
Mhm.
so if you look at I'm a little unclear on what these people have as far as investments, because if you look at the statement from Webster Bank, the 2020 interest income, 1099 INT, they've got from this one, looks like a CD, over $560 in interest, which in this interest rate environment suggests that's a fairly sizable CD.
Yeah. It's a good point.
And then if you look at the next page from Needham Bank, there's also sizable, look at the amount of time deposit interest income over 1,000. Like I just, what is that in to generate over $1,000 a year in interest income nowadays?
Yeah, I'd be interested in investing in that. Yeah.
It says time deposit, which would be a CD, but that's weird because that pays like 1%. So,
And they don't list any.
That's what I'm saying. And if you look at
right, it is weird,
their
yeah.
other listed assets, they don't claim any listed assets, right?
which is clearly wrong,
Yeah.
right? If you want to get more info, Evie, I know how much you love doing that, but I
No,
mean,
I'm fine. I'm fine.
okay.
Right. So they're probably understating their expenses, which is in their favor, but they seem to be leaving off potentially significant investments.
Yeah, what's all that investment income from? It doesn't say.
I think we might get more clarity on that if they could either provide it or if we could get their actual return as opposed to just the e-file summary.
Right. That
Yeah.
would show us
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. Need the 1040 Evie on this one.
Okay.
Right? And expenses also. I'll be right back.
I mean, I guess maybe the easiest thing would be to ask for the balances from those bank accounts, right? I mean, we only see like the interest,
Balances on any investment accounts or bank accounts, yeah.
right?
Well, don't we want to know what the investment is to get that, to generate that?
Right.
interest?
We don't know.
Like, is it a CD? Is it a,
It has to be more than a CD to have that amount of interest.
oh, yeah, especially in this environment.
Or a very large
Because that
CD.
would be $100,000, you know, which is never shown anywhere else. $100,000 plus of investment to yield that kind of interest or dividend or whatever it is, interest.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, number 9.
So number 9, very little information, right? Let's see here.
We didn't give them anything last year, right?
Looks like it was 2,144.
Correct.
Why does it say nothing in 202 on the spreadsheet? Never mind, I don't know. Ignore me on that one, I'll figure it out. Nothing noted.
The fiscal year 2021 applicants page.
Oh, other assets were nothing in 2020. Is that what that's saying?
I don't know, I don't know what that's referring to, nothing in 2020.
It's in the other assets column.
Oh, okay,
The other applicant.
that's what I'm looking at. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to determine what their assets are.
Last year it was an IRA, it was 154,424.
And we still gave them an
And that
award.
was noted the prior year. So the 19 income is used for the 20 award, and
Mhm.
so we don't know. Do we have assets that they're not reporting and it was just listed in error or forgotten in error on this person?
They must have they have an IRA distribution of 26,000.
I mean, they received $500 last year from the voluntary.
I mean, they're clearly not listing the other assets on here, right? Because
No,
they're getting IRA distributions of 26,000 and
Mhm.
pensions and annuities of 2,600.
Mhm.
And they also have some interest in dividends of small amounts, but
Mhm.
well, the interest though, I guess again, as we just talked about, the interest is like $560, which, you know, could indicate a sizable deposit account.
So we just say missing assets, right? Pension, annuity, dividends, Evie? And number 9.
Mm.
Okay, number 10.
So you're going for more information on number 9.
Right. Right. All right, number 10.
So on this one, we don't have a tax return, right?
Number 9, number 10. They didn't get anything in 20. They did get an award in 2019. And no income verification from what I could find.
So historically, what has been the stance of the committee when someone does not provide either a return or some kind of explanation as to why there isn't a return provided?
After the meeting, I contact the individuals and try to get some additional information from them. And then if they don't provide the information, they don't get an award. Or we'll do tentative award of a specific dollar pending on my being able to get additional financial information out of them.
Got it.
It's however, if you feel that the person is being honest, you would say, well, if he sends it back to verification, give him $400. Or you could say, don't do anything until we get back the information and then.
Does
do-
Nancy call each person that doesn't have a 1040 and say, we need a tax return from you? Do you know?
If they don't file, then they wouldn't have a tax return. That's,
But shouldn't they write, shouldn't maybe we have to change the form then and have a box that they check and say did not file a tax return, because we don't know that, right?
correct.
So maybe we do have to revise the form. We didn't revise it this year, but maybe we have to say, did you file a tax return? Yes, no. And then if they say yes, then you must supply it in order to be considered for an award. Because it seems like your staff chases down people often to supply these.
This person's 87. I would take that into consideration for her gathering some of the information.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
But
Yeah.
Nancy's good. She tries to, she helps them a lot.
They did provide, it looks like they did provide a copy of their pension statement that shows the amount of pension income they received.
There is a person who helped
Right.
fill this form out, so even if the person is 87, there is somebody who doesn't say what the relationship is, whether it's a son or a nephew or something with the same
Right.
last name,
Yep.
who did prepare this. It says prepare
Right.
if other than applicant. So
Yeah.
if they're 87, then that person should still be able to check a box next year that said this individual didn't file a tax return. They didn't have to.
Yep.
Right? I don't know. I would leave it as a question unless you all want to do a tentative award. I don't know.
Oh, what am I doing with this guy? Person, I'm sorry.
What do y'all think?
More information.
I think that's what I wrote, but just wanted to see if other people concurred.
I do.
I agree.
Agreed.
Is that okay, Evie?
More information regarding income or income assets or
Did
whatever.
they file a tax return? Are there other assets? What else can they tell us? Right?
Okay,
Okay. Applicant 11.
All right.
okay, applicant number 11.
Evie, is this a new one as well? Because they didn't get anything last year, according to the,
This is a deferral. Historically, we do not award deferrals. And because the makeup of this committee has changed, I just take a few minutes to decide why. When someone defers their taxes, the taxes do not have to be paid unless it exceeds the value of the house, which it normally would never do, until the occupant who is actually deferring either deceases or is deceased or moves out into a nursing facility. Then it becomes the owner of the responsibility of their heirs to pay the taxes.
Yes, there's a lien on the house on
In
this
our
one,
way
right?
of thinking, right, in our way of thinking, the beneficiary of this award
Yeah,
is not the person who's living in the house. It's their heirs,
that's right.
because they don't have to pay anything. Now, the thinking can change, and I will say the select board is of a different mindset than that. But that's how this board voted and has maintained that same, opinion. So
So to be clear, to tease that out a little bit, if they are deferring and we make an award, would they get the money, or it would just reduce the amount of taxes that are deferred?
reduces
don't-
deferral. It reduces deferral. They do not get a refund. None of this
mean-
money is ever refunded to
I
anyone.
mean, to me, I agree with the reasoning that has been used in the past, just hearing about it, because we don't know anything about the beneficiaries, right? They might have absolutely no need to get assistance.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So do you want to just maintain that train of thought?
I mean, that certainly makes sense to me.
Okay.
Agree.
Yeah, I agree, because there's no cash flow impact to them anyway, right? I mean, if you're
That's
trying to
right.
provide immediate assistance to people who really need it,
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
they're not shelling out any cash.
Any opinion on this?
I would maintain how we've been doing it. I'm just wondering if some people defer and don't realize that they're choosing to go down that path versus the other path, which is, getting perhaps
Seek
a
assistance.
substantial grant on, maybe they don't understand. I'm hoping that they do understand. But if an elderly person doesn't have anybody in their family who explains financials to them, they might be deferring that's actually not to their best interests. Maybe I'm putting too much heart into this.
Well, deferral is always going to be 100% relief, and I don't think we ever provide 100% relief, right? So it's always going to be in their best interest, I think, to defer, right? Not in the heirs'
Oh, yeah.
interest.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
So we're going to go with no for deferrals.
I would still go with no for deferrals.
I would as well.
Makes sense to be consistent. Yeah.
I agree.
Mhm.
Okay.
So why do they apply each year then?
Good question.
I'm sorry.
Why do they apply each year?
Because apparently, according to Nancy, this person has gotten awards in the past
Hmm.
and now is deferring her taxes. So I said, well, let her.
Oh, they
Let 'em
used to
apply and
not defer? They used to
Yeah.
not defer, you mean?
It's a letter
All
of
right.
apply, and then we will, either deny it or, bring up the situation, the discussion again.
If somebody used to defer, used to not defer and now does, can they switch back again in 2 years? I don't really know how that goes. They
Yeah.
could.
I mean, they could not defer next year. They don't have
Next
to
year.
defer every year. No,
Okay,
they can defer and then
change.
pay it, if they
Mhm.
want to.
Does
Okay,
Nancy, does the staff explain to them, let's say, hi, person X, you're not going to receive an award this year because now you are deferring?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's really not Nancy's job. She just
Somebody,
tries to help
person.
them. It's up to the committee to say no.
right? But
real
somebody
estate.
tells them next, or does somebody explain, does a letter go out? I'm sorry, you're not eligible this year because you deferred taxes.
Yeah, when it's
Okay.
denial, the denial letters are specific to each individual
And
situation.
it will say the reason.
Yeah.
It will say the reason. That's good.
Give them the reason. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Right, this is the person that received
Right.
$800 out of a trust.
Well, yeah, this is line item 12, but they not only received that distribution from the trust appears to pay all of their expenses, including their tax bill.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
to me, this is not very compelling.
No. No, and they've got, all of this other, they got IRAs and they've got investment accounts. They got a CD. So, yeah, I agree. This, I didn't look at this one too carefully, but so do you want to do anything or nothing or?
I would say to me, this person appears to have a trust paying 100% of their tax bill. They haven't provided much detail on what the trust entails or how much money is in the trust, but I don't see this as a compelling case for an award.
And they're young, right? Aren't they
Yeah.
on the youngest end to even be in this program?
Yeah. 60. Yeah.
So I would say no.
If the board, if the committees decide, I can say that this person is denied because they did not provide, these people are, and I know that we give them leeway because of their age and circumstances, but they are responsible for providing documentation. And like
Yeah.
I said, Nancy not goes after them, but she pursues them if they don't provide it. And,
Mhm.
it's just very difficult
Mhm.
to chase after them.
Yeah.
I will do it, but it's sometimes.
Well, so yeah, to that point, no
Right.
returns were provided. They list trust income of 800 a month, but total yearly income of 48,000. So there's another source of income that we don't know anything about.
I would get a tax return on this person.
And
Because
all the expenses are paid from the trust.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
even,
There's no expenses.
yeah.
well, if there's no expenses, then there's no need for this, right? For us to award something? Or am
Yeah.
I missing something? I'm not a CPA, I'm just a regular human, so I could be missing something.
Doesn't that near the end of the packet, the law officer Diane Gold, she gets $800 and then all these other expenses are paid for.
I would,
Yeah,
I would vote no.
to
I would vote no because of, there are no, she doesn't have any expenses.
right.
Agreed.
Yeah, even if we were to try to keep it simple based on how the form's filled out, there's, I mean, there's $600 of, I don't know, there's 3,600. There's a small amount of expenses compared to $48,000 of income. And then on top of that, the trust seems to be paying
Mhm.
the other expenses. So
Yeah,
it's,
including the taxes. To me, our
Right.
funds are better distributed elsewhere.
agreed.
Okay.
13.
Number 13.
So
and
here,
Eric has never gotten an award.
one question I had that was unclear to me. On page 2, it indicates that there is an investment account at LPL Financial.
Yeah.
There may indeed be no income taken, but we have no idea what's in that. Could be $5 million in that account,
Yeah, we had something like that one year, actually. Seriously.
Mm.
I mean, you have a very good point. Should we ask for more information on this one as well? Like what's the investment account? Where's a statement on that? What is, LPL Financial, but where is the information that goes with that?
What is the value of the investment account?
Yeah,
Okay.
The other thing I would note, just for consistency's sake, is I think this person indicates that she has a daughter living with her who has an income. And I think in the past, when we've seen that and
Mhm.
haven't known what that income was, we asked for, I apologize. I take it back. We have the returns from both of them.
we do.
Just gonna say, I think both of them are here. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
apologize. Okay, forget what I said. But I do think that the information about the LPL account seems to me to be relevant.
But this
Right.
person's 92. Does that mean anything? Do you?
Yeah, I think if you look at the return, I mean, yeah, I think that's a factor, right? If you look at the returns, I think even if you took them combined, they'd be under the limit,
Yeah.
right? But I think it is a fair question about that investment. If they're just saying there's no income taken from it, but if it's $1 million,
So, I mean, would this be one we would want to do a provisional award, like assuming that the LPL balance is not over
Mhm.
whatever amount,
Yeah.
we're comfortable granting an award?
I was
Yeah, I
going
would do that.
to suggest,
Yeah. Like 700 or something?
700,000?
No, $700.
$100.
yeah,
Oh, you want?
The award of 700. Yes, that seems reasonable. But what amount do we want to say we want to reconsider that if the LPL account balance is more than what?
I don't know. Ask one of the financial people here.
maybe we just say we want to know what the balance in that account is, and we'll
Fair enough.
start to,
It's
Decide.
hard to choose a number. That's fair.
It is hard for me anyway. Thank you,
sure.
Patrick.
Okay. So,
You're gonna be an award for that?
Well, there probably can be unless that mysterious account has some huge number in it, right? Because
Okay.
of this person's individual's age and the
Yeah.
combined income, they do meet the requirement of under 65 or whatever it is, thousand,
agreed.
right? And the person's in their 90s.
That, I mean, if I'll get the value of the account, if I can get it, and get it, convey that to the committees, and then if you decide that that's, significant, enough to not make an award, then that 700 goes away.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Number 14. They received something in 2020.
Oh,
These
Yeah.
people are way out of whack, as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned. 58,000, even if I didn't even know, I don't even know how much I looked at this one, to be honest with that.
they've got more than $500,000 in retirement investment and bank accounts.
Yes, yeah.
I wouldn't give anything.
Agreed.
Triple to agree.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, not. Okay, we are
Sell
on.
some
number-
stock. Just sell some stock and pay your bills.
The number 15 individual, I've got a note here from Nancy saying that they denied the request for an exemption because they're looking for additional financial trust information, which once they get it, if they do get it, Nancy will share it. So at this point, we really don't have anything that,
Yeah.
when you're saying she receives math health, math health, as far as SNAP benefits, no school-age children. So it's,
The one thing I did note, everyone's entitled to a nice vehicle, but they bought a Cadillac SUV.
I noticed that too.
yeah,
I was just looking at that. I know. Uh, I always take the cars into consideration. We've also had people with vacation homes, second homes who have applied. We've always denied them.
Hmm,
So it's an
Oh, yeah.
issue. Yeah.
That's a 2015 SUV, is it?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that's a
big Cadillac.
$50,000 car.
And they get, it ages 53 and 60. And one of them is self-employed, Brian. I think that's- she's 53. I don't know. I don't know how the assessors found out this was a trust. But they must have it on the deed, I think, Stanley, would be on the deed.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay.
So the other thing I'll note, again, I don't know if this is relevant or not, but when you look at the other information, they don't say they need a reduction in taxes for financial reasons. They seem to be arguing that because they don't have kids in the school system, that mitigates in favor of a reduction in taxes, which seems to me a little bit not the purpose of our committee.
Well, as well, most people in their 70s, 80s are
Yes.
probably not going to have school age children. I had my kids older, but I'm unusual, but I still wouldn't be 70s having kids in the school
Right.
system. So it's irrelevant. Yeah, I agree. And I also, the last sentence they wrote also just, it felt to me almost like that they felt that they were entitled to whatever. I won't read the specific, but it is reasonable. I mean, we're the ones that decide what's reasonable, but I don't know. That's a tough one. I wouldn't give one of the really generous, awards that we were starting out with here because they're youngish. One is still working.
Yeah,
They had the very nice car.
So
Um,
the one who's working, where's the Brian's working, but his
Person
20
X.
oh, sorry, person X is working,
Mhm.
but doesn't seem to show any wages or income.
there's other income of 13,000,
Oh, I see.
line
So-
8 of the 1040.
Is that
which is
self-employment
Self-employment,
income?
I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we don't
Okay.
have the I don't think we have the detail of that. Also interesting, I mean, again, there's nothing there for other assets, right? But there is not $50 of interest is not
no,
a lot, but it's something. And then there's 14,000 of pension and annuity, but
yeah, we don't know what that is.
there's got to be some assets there. I mean, they've got
Right, the
checking
page
statements,
says
but,
0 and it's clearly not 0.
right.
But,
I mean, they've got bank statements, but none of these balances, quite frankly, seem like they'd be enough to generate $50 of interest income. There's like $2,000 in a Needham bank account, $300 in a Citizens account, and
They got a penny interest on that one.
right, and $300 in another Needham bank account. So I don't know where the $50 of interest is coming from.
A penny on that one. So what's your pleasure?
so try to take my personal feelings out of this, but I don't know, maybe like 400 or something. They're younger and there are some assets that are not showing here. So we could either do a tentative award and you could get more information on assets if you think that that makes sense, Evie. They are younger than most applicants.
Mm.
It looks
Yeah,
like
Liz,
on
Liz?
the spreadsheet, it has $400 you gave them last year on the F4, the fiscal year 2021 applicants spreadsheet.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, and we didn't give her anything from the appropriation. And I believe that's because we had to, I had to get additional information and we already had made the awards. I didn't get the information until after. And it was a provisional award, so they only got the 400 from the voluntary.
I'm fine doing 400 again, just to give them help, and because we have a substantial pot this year to pull from.
Mhm.
I'll second that.
Okay,
Uh,
no,
Yes,
I'm struggling with this one because I don't think, I'm struggling with the accuracy of the data provided to us.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, it's a question of like, I mean, when, I don't know what the intent was or wasn't, but when, it seems like there's clearly been things left off of here.
Yeah.
You know, maybe,
So, and I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking this one, but there's something that's inconsistent about this one. It's, someone showing this amount of purported income, no savings, no investment accounts, no nothing, and they're buying a Cadillac SUV. I know it was in 15, but I don't mean to hold us up. If everyone thinks
No, no, it's
400 is appropriate.
Well,
I mean,
one thing one reason I'm thinking 400 is also they do live in a house that's valued at a high level compared to many of the other people, compared to everybody on this page, almost $1 million home. So if I were their child, which I'm not, I'm on a committee, but I'd say maybe we can downsize, but that's not my business. So given the fact they do have a very large tax bill, they are living in a home in Needham that's assessed at a high number.
and they are
And
able
so-
to pay the taxes. So,
I'm just saying that I would give them a small award just to help defray that large property tax bill.
I mean, part of the concern I understand what
Mhm.
Jonathan's saying is they've got a $13,000 real estate bill that has been paid. It's not out, there's nothing outstanding.
Mhm.
So how are they paying that on, no income? So I think I kind of would agree with the assessor, and they've just.
Oh, I'm fine. If you
decided-
want to hold off on more information, I'm fine with that too.
Okay.
Do you want to get more information on the assets? I'm not adamantly on the 400. If we feel that there's missing information as far as assets, that's fine to go to try to get more information.
Okay. We're not making any awards, guys. Number 16.
Yeah.
What,
I mean,
Betsy,
I,
what-
not,
go ahead.
sorry. I was gonna say, I'm just like Google mapping the house. I don't know if we're allowed to do that.
Public information.
I mean, I'm zooming in, it's 275. Well, sorry, I won't the address of the applicant, but
We see it,
yeah,
yeah,
there's a 3-car garage,
right, we know that neighborhood, it's this
Yeah, it looks
estate
like a
area.
pretty
Right,
nice house.
that's why they have the big tax bill. That's why I said, if I weren't on a
Right.
committee and I were their kid, I'd say, let's downsize you, okay, but that's
Right.
not the point. So, but I have another inconsistency as well, if you're gonna follow up, Evie, which is if they are very low income, and then we had the, well, where are the assets coming? There are assets, but they're not listed. If they receive SNAP for 2, that's very low income. That's lower income than, say, to be on Mass Health. It's really low. So there are the inconsistencies. Unless they're not telling SNAP the full story of
Well,
what their assets are.
I know. Yeah, that's a nice house.
Right, and we can see that from the
I
tax
know, I
bill.
just
know
saw
the
where it is on the
neighborhood,
map.
right.
Yeah.
I know that neighborhood. I mean, we all pretty much, I mean, I've lived in the town over 30 years. I know all these neighborhoods. Yeah, it's a nice neighborhood. It's a large house. They have a big tax bill. They have a nice car. So that's on the one hand. On the other hand, they're on Mass Health, which for two individuals, you have to be about 22,000 or less. All right, that could be of income, but SNAP is really, really low income. How do they qualify for food, which was food stamps? That's what it was used to be called. How do they qualify for that if they have a, you know, a good number of assets? There's
Just,
just a lot of inconsistencies.
yeah, and I also know they did check off disabled, yes,
Oh, I didn't see
but
that.
on the front, but not applicable for the SSDI number.
Well, there's another inconsistency, so. I don't know, Evie, do you want to try to get more information?
I can try. Like, you know, because I think Nancy is waiting for more, but I will, maybe the two of us together will get something. Oh, I already wrote it down, okay. Number 16.
These folks are young.
I don't even believe this application warrants any discussion.
I agree.
I don't.
This was the, yeah. So no income listed, but clearly there is,
They refused to provide any income.
I,
And provided a company profile, which Nancy was able to get off the website, which is public information, of 180,000 now with gross sales of their business, which, you know, could mean a lot or could mean nothing, but they would not provide any information.
Well,
So
then they're known, right?
yeah, I think so.
I
I
don't
mean,
believe it. I just would say 0 because I
they
will-
may have a valid case if they were willing to provide more info, but without that, I agree.
they wouldn't, it wouldn't give anything. So
Well, if they won't give anything, we won't give anything.
exactly.
Okay, 17.
17. Conchita,
Applicant,
17.
17.
so
All right.
the only thing that gave me pause about this one is that there is $150,000 in savings, it looks like. And that's not nothing, you know.
right? Especially at that age, right? I mean,
95 years old.
Yeah.
You have to give her something. I mean,
You gave her 2,100 last year, Debbie?
she got, what is it?
2,100.
Alimony. She got, what did she get last year? 17, yes, $1,700, 1,717 in total. And that's only because we only gave her 500 from the voluntary because she had as a CD.
Because she had what? I'm sorry.
because of the CD account you noted,
Oh,
John.
because the CD.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Debbie, this spreadsheet that I have, the fiscal year 2021 applicants, it's not applicable because it has on here fiscal year 2020 total award $2,144. So I'm confused.
It's probably because I tried to consolidate and I probably consolidate the wrong line.
So that's the total award this
So
applicant
the
received
total
last year?
award is what you're seeing on the FY 20 spreadsheet, not the 21 spreadsheet.
Oh.
So it should, the total award was 1,217, and I will correct all of this, 11.
So I'm looking at that page, the fiscal year 2020 awards, and I look at this person, number 22. And in that column, it was 781.
81.
Mm-hmm.
Are we looking at applicant, this year's applicant number 17?
Yes,
This year 17, last year 22. It was number 22 last year.
correct, yeah.
The total award was $1,717.11
Right, for 20.
on the FY 20 award sheet.
781 is the FY19 award. If that's what you're looking at, Stanley.
Yeah.
So the last year's spreadsheet listed the prior year, the 19 award, which is 781, and then for FY20, this applicant received 1,717, it looks like, in total.
Got it?
Okay,
I'm comfortable with an award, but I think we just have to be cognizant of the CDs.
So what,
Did they give backup on the CDs?
Yeah,
They do, it's here.
I think they're at Needham Bank.
Mhm.
Okay. Mhm.
so what would you like to do?
Maybe 700. Just because of their age, how long they've lived in town and whatnot. I don't know. I'm thinking 700, but I'm open.
Okay,
What do y'all think of 700?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the this one, at least, like the information, they're not hiding things from.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Right.
Exactly, right. It does have, there is a fair amount of CGs, but they've lived in the same house for 2,000 years or whatever. And, you know, they're older than most applicants. I mean, maybe 800 if you feel comfortable. I don't know. It's not a science. It's just kind of a judgment thing.
so 700 or 800?
I go with 700.
7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Smith.
Number 18.
Oh, sorry, number 18.
Old habits die hard. We did it the other way for many, many years, right?
Yeah, he's been getting it every year since 2007. And really, his income and everything has not really changed that much. He does have the retirement account. The 2 people.
Mhm.
66,000, it's not.
Yeah, it's
What,
I
what,
would give a generous award. I mean, things look in order and they're older and there's not hidden things and, you know, I would go like 800, 850. They have an older car that's 14 years old. I know I have the same car and mine's almost that old and it's gonna have some issues, this car, you know? This person, I would be generous with them.
great.
and there's not as much support here, but I think, Evie, you said there's a pretty good track record here, right, with this applicant.
So are we talking 850?
Yeah,
I would.
mean, yeah, I would, it's a veteran. I mean, yeah, come on.
850?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, number 19. He got awards to 19 and 20. 2203. Again, he's living on Social Security.
I would support an award.
Oh, yeah.
83.
Look at the age of the cars.
Agreed.
Okay. And this is very up and up, I believe.
Oh, 1998, 1999, you can't complain about that.
No,
That's right.
there's a nice written statement attached as well.
I saw that as well, and that's always appreciated. And the whole application is so well put together and
Yep.
complete. So there's just, it's such a nice change to see something like this.
So what would you like? 850, 9?
I would give them 9.
It's fine.
I agree.
Just for the sake of consistency, we haven't given anyone over 850. We've given either 750 or 850 and 800.
Yeah, but extra.
I'm fine with
points-
9.
Extra
Yeah, yeah.
points for such
Yeah,
a
yeah.
nice application.
Well, I mean, that does mean something. He did supply as much information as he possibly
Yeah.
could.
And the
Where
cars,
the others just, in my way of thinking, did not spend a lot of time on it, or they didn't get anyone to help them, like a family member, because they felt that it wasn't crucial, where it really is. And
and a 23-year-old and a 24-year-old car means something to me as well versus some of the other applicants.
No, that's fair.
Mhm.
okay, number 20.
I think this one similarly had a pretty good amount of, it seemed to be filled out pretty completely.
Pretty similar to the last one, so I'd say like award 850.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Me too.
Agreed.
50, sorry. I just want to take a moment to show you this, and I do not know. Applicant number 6, okay. I did not provide the committees with all of this information, but I just want to let you know, applicant number 6 supplied all of this information, every bill that he got, every tax statement. I didn't add up the bills to see if they matched what he put on the form, but I just want to let you know that, you know, if you want it, everything is in duplicate copies of everything, so.
That's
All
good.
year's worth of expenses. for them.
Thorough is, well, better to be too thorough if you're looking for
That would
assistance,
answer too.
right?
He does it every year. Okay, sorry.
It's all right.
Number 20. What did we do to number 20?
I think we said 850.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, number 21.
I think this one deserves an award.
Maybe on the front page, it says apartment. Isn't
The
this,
condominium.
it's a condo?
The condo, yeah, Rosemary Way or condos, yeah. So you see the value is only 300, well, only 390,000 as opposed to the 500,000 and 600,000 of the others.
Yeah, they're smaller condos, yeah.
When I
For the
marked
sake of,
on the
oh, never
con-
mind. Okay. Sorry, go ahead, Stanley.
Sorry. No, I marked this one down because of like a disability or hardship in the notes that she wrote.
Right, and it, it indicates no on disabled. She is not disabled, but looks like the person living with her is.
Younger person is.
And they've provided both tax returns and the disabled person has no income.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this person, as applicant's done a good job of providing, pretty thorough application, I'd say.
I would go with the 850 or 900 and be fine with either one.
Go with the 850.
850?
Yep.
Yep, I'm fine with it.
Yep. Yeah.
22.
For 22, no tax
Nothing.
forms
Nothing.
Well,
and
that return to sender.
Yeah.
right? And they have
185.
significant investments which are
Yeah.
not detailed, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
retirement accounts and investments.
46,000, and it's a retired teacher. And $185,000 in investments. I don't know if you want to give them something, but I wouldn't.
It's interesting, according to the, according to the numbers put on here, there's income of 46,000 and expenses of 61,000,
Yeah, well, that doesn't make sense. does it?
but yeah,
Well, what's the $120,000 investment account? Don't we want to get information on that?
Well, last year, her investments were 140,000. I'm just wondering if she's drawing down anything to.
Right, but shouldn't she supply what that is, like whatever it's called, the investment company sends? Some, the 1099 or whatever it is, right? Don't we need that?
She sent us she did include the W-2 from.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what's the 120,000 investment?
That's what she's saying.
Right, but where do we see that?
yeah, we don't have any
We don't-
detail on it.
We don't.
Right.
We should get back up on that, shouldn't we?
Yes.
There's also a note, right? I mean, the note on the other information seems to acknowledge, if I'm understanding this correctly, that they will be eligible for Social Security, but at current age, they're electing to hold off on applying, right? Probably to maximize the benefit, I would assume.
I
Yeah,
thought the
I think
teachers
it's
can't get Social Security. I thought they don't get Social Security. I
Uh,
thought they get pensions instead. Am I not correct on that?
Well, they could get both. I think you're right if that's the only thing that the applicant's ever done, but if they worked for, some period of time doing something else, they could have paid
see.
Social Security as well. So maybe they don't get a large, just another thing to consider, that they're not currently getting any Social Security income, but they are eligible to get some.
Yeah, there's an offset for municipal retirees.
Okay.
If they're qualified for Social Security benefits, there is a percentage offset when you actually retire from municipal. They consider it double dipping, so they.
Mhm.
Unless you worked many, many years before, you can't get windfall like me when I went to work for the town. They can't take it away. And it's confusing on your spreadsheet. It has 1955, her birthday. It says she's 72, and you got to collect Social Security when you're 70.
Well, they're only 65.
No, Social Security, you can collect anything between age 62 and age 70. You don't have to be age 70. You can choose anything
No,
between.
no, I realize that. I'm saying that on the spreadsheet, it says she's 72.
Oh, her birth year isn't right. I see what you're
There's an
saying. She's
inconsistency.
actually 66. Is that what you're saying? It's a mistake
Yeah.
there.
It's a mistake. It's a mistake.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
she's 65.
Error.
She's age 65, right?
Yeah.
Okay, she'll be
That's
66
why
in
she's
the
not
summer.
collecting yet, whatever she can get from Social Security.
Okay, well, she's choosing to hold off to the full Social Security age.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, here's her correct age on that green sheet here.
So what are we
Um,
doing? We doing anything for her? For number 22?
I would,
I'm still looking through. It does have an old car, 2010.
yeah, I'd give her
Um,
like 500.
Looking at the expenses, biggest expense is the mortgage is $2,600 a month.
Oh, yeah.
So that's like half of 61,000 of annual expenses. That about half of it is the mortgage. I mean, it seemed like a lot of expenses, but it doesn't appear. I don't see anything jumping out at me as like extravagant. The mortgage is high.
Condo fee is only $50 a month.
Right. Like I don't know if that's right or not, but I mean, an automobile $200 a month is not. It's just the
Is
insurance
this,
and gas.
I don't know Maple Street. That's a condo?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like some townhome type setups there,
Mhm.
or right adjacent.
But this is a house. This can't be a condo for that amount of that value.
But there is a condo fee, so it's interesting.
Oh,
But
yeah, there is a
Um,
condo fee. I'm
if
sorry.
you Google
that-
the house, it looks like a house.
Ah,
It could be either.
Well, there's
I mean,
there's
we can
some
look it up.
there's a bunch of multifamily or like split.
There are both
homes.
on that street there.
I used to
mean, there-
live right near
Yeah,
there.
it's a mix on that street, which we won't say the street, but we can look it up. And it's a mix of homes and condos and townhomes. I would give them an award because. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's a split. It looks like a split building. There's two
Mm-hmm.
driveways, one house. So house, if you will, but-
I would lean to giving them an award, even though they're on the younger side for an applicant and their income is not as low as some people we've seen. But
yeah.
anybody else agree about giving this person an award?
750.
Oh,
Just,
the one thing I'll say, I don't have a problem with an award, but I will say they sure didn't try very hard. There's very little information provided. We know nothing about their retirement account. I'm fine with an award, but
You know what's interesting that is relevant and different here? All right, so I just went to realtor.com to look up, I won't say the address since we're on Zoom.
mhm.
But it says that this house sold on February 12th, 2021.
February 12th.
So
the
that's
day
really
before.
worth looking into, Abby. Do they still live there or what's the deal? When did they send this application in?
okay, wait a minute.
13th.
We'll back up.
Possible.
The house is sold.
It says this house sold on February 12th, 2021.
So that was
So-
after this,
That
No,
was
this
day
application was
before the
received March
application.
day
17th.
before the application was filed.
It's
No, a
certainly
month
possible.
before.
What it could be, and I think I agree. It's an excellent point. It's worth checking and asking. But it could be that they put it into trust, right? They're doing estate planning. That's often the case, but it's a fair question.
And it is, I think this is a single family. I don't think this is any kind of like townhome thing because I'm seeing that even if it's sold within the family, it's a trust. It's sold on February 12th, okay, 2 months ago for $885. This is a single family home on Maple. It's a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath. Okay, anyway, so much for anonymity, but I don't know. I would still give this person an award, but not one of the larger awards.
Is it one?
based on
Was it
all this.
160? Yeah. Oh, sorry.
If
Yeah.
if the house sold and it isn't a family or put into a trust, I would not award anything.
So do you want to find out more information if this is correct that it's sold on February 12th?
Yeah.
Well, I think
What's
it
the deal?
depends. Yeah, because I mean, a lot of people like put it into a trust to protect it from the nursing home, and it's still there. It's an irrevocable trust, right? And they're still
Yeah.
paying all the expenses. I would think that would be fine. But if they,
Is that fine, Abby?
Yes, yeah.
It is, okay.
Yeah,
But the
Okay.
one thing, again, this is going off, also Googling, and it's hard to get too specific here, but this doesn't, if you look at the price history for
Mhm,
this home, it was listed for a higher amount last year.
mhm.
Price changed and it sold at a different price. That
Oh.
looked like a house that was
looks like an
listed
actual
in-
sale,
Yeah,
right?
without knowing more, it looks like that.
Yeah, well, we can
Is
look
this-
into that further.
And sorry, was
Yeah.
this a recurring applicant? It
no,
was.
she
No.
got one in 2020, last year. That's all.
Okay. Anyway, because it's not as if the person who bought it in February is now applying for the first time. Because
I
this
think they
person applied
probably-
to that address last year.
I think they'd still be unpacking. I don't think they'd be sending
Right.
more applications.
They have to have lived in the house for 5 years.
I know.
True.
So,
Yeah.
but maybe you could find out what, if that's relevant that we see online that the home sold in February. Is it just, put into a trust? Right?
Okay, we're getting there. 23.
Okay, 22, 23. Now, Mr. Zambito has gotten an award.
Number 23.
2008. And that was, I think, the first or second year we made awards. So he's a loyal participant in the process. And, you know, makes $30,000 a year.
Yeah,
He and his brother both apply every year and get an award every year. So
Yeah, I like the note, the nice note on,
I loved it. I
Page
loved
4.
the note. Yeah,
I think that means a lot.
I agree. I'm in favor of a nice award.
Agreed.
I know, it makes me want to cry. It does. I won't cry, even if I weren't on Zoom. It just makes me feel like I would want to. I would give 850, 900, whatever the max, you know?
When we do like number 19, do 900.
Yeah, I would do 900.
Sounds
okay.
good.
And now
Yeah, I
we
think the
brother-
town, just add the town, you know, former town employee too, just in terms of dedication of the town and living
Right.
here for a long period of time. And really good.
and then we have number 24, who's the same situation, Lorenzo Zambito.
No, number 24.
He's 84. And he also,
I would also support an award for 900 here.
900.
Yeah, it's very similar fact pattern.
yeah.
Mhm.
I agree.
okay. And then number 24 is also a former town employee, doesn't
I
matter.
mean, number 25.
25.
25.
Huh, 25?
We just did 24 and 23. We're both 900. Now we're up to 25
900? Okay,
for 24.
that's easy.
Mhm.
Okay, fellas, I will put all this together.
Wait, we have to do the
Oh, so
last
that was
one.
23 and 24 were both 900, but we're still
Those were
looking at
900.
25.
Now we're gonna do 25.
So we did 25,
No, we did 23 and 24. Those are both 900.
okay.
And then for number 25, seems
We
like,
also apply, oh, only 18 through 20. I thought he was every year, but 18, 19, and 20 he's awarded.
88 and 89. I support an award. 2005 cars. I mean,
mhm. Social Security, living on Social Security. I don't see a lot of mysterious investments. I see modest amount of interest that goes along with what this person is saying.
Again, you know, very transparent too. They provided all their, you know,
Yeah.
utility statements, interest, income,
Yep,
1099.
I would say 900. I mean, looking at the age, looking at how long they've been in the home, right?
I'm comfortable with that.
Agreed.
Agreed.
900,
I mean, there's another 900 then.
okay,
Okay.
okay. I will, put this together. It won't be probably, I'm going into the hospital tomorrow for some surgery, so, probably won't be until next week.
Well, that's no excuse. You need to bring these with you to the hospital.
Especially the big packet.
I'm just kidding.
No, I'm bringing it home so that when I'm,
Well, don't bring it home. Take care of yourself first. If you don't have your
Yeah.
house, you don't have
I
anything.
can sit at my computer with, you know, my jammies and
Abby,
work on it.
bring the file home. You don't need to work on it. Rest up before your hospital and hope that everything goes okay.
Yeah.
All right?
For sure it will,
Okay.
but I am, you know, gonna have to, I'll do these at home.
Evie, do
Debbie.
you want the forms back? I have to go sign something in the assessor's office tomorrow. Do you want all the paperwork back?
We will shred them unless you want to keep them for any reason.
I'll bring them back tomorrow.
Okay, I will be here, so we can leave with Nancy.
You might want to keep them until we finalize
Yeah.
all the awards,
Yeah, yeah.
Stanley, because we refer back and Abby will
That's a
send
good
us an
point.
email. And she'll say, we got this information. What do y'all think now?
Okay,
We're not done.
okay.
So
that's what I thought. I wasn't.
We were
It's all right.
the ones with where more information is needed. Do we resolve those by email? Is that
Mhm.
generally how it works? Okay.
Even when we used to be in person, you know, and we used to eat pizza and do this, the follow-up ones, yeah, where's my dinner? The follow-up meetings were always by email, But now if we had, let's say, 15 of these to go over in detail, we could do another Zoom if we needed to versus email. Might be easier since so many
Right.
have questions, right?
So it depends. Okay. Yeah, it might be easier to,
I think it might be
Have enough
easier if, Evie, not to be personal or anything, but do you expect that you'll be out of commission for a while or don't know, or
Huh?
you're going into the hospital, you said you expect to be out of work for a while?
I hope to be back by next Friday in the office.
Okay, so like a week and a half, or, because you know what, it would take like 15 people to do your job if you ever weren't doing this job, just so you know.
Not
Yeah.
that.
What? No, I'm serious. They would have to have, that would blow the whole Needham fiscal budget that year. There would have to be 15 Evvies to handle what Evie does, and I'm not kidding.
This guy was a no, I think. 18 was a no, right?
No, he was 850.
850, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm taking the ones that have questions. for me. Okay.
You want to just take them all with you, because then, you know, when you're home from the hospital, if you have questions, keep it all together, and then you don't need to do this when you're trying to take care of your health. These can wait. The people are, we're doing them a grant. We're doing something nice for them. You don't need to do this like emergency basis, okay?
Okay.
Seriously. You take care of Evie.
Okay.
Thank you. You're speaking to a Jewish mother here. Listen to me.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Okay, thank you.
I'm
Be
listening.
well, Evie.
You can
Thank you.
ask my kids. I can be very bossy. Take care of yourself.
Anything else?
Take care of
before I make a
yourself.
motion to adjourn?
Nice to see everybody.
just best wishes. I hope
Hey,
everything
wait,
goes
we
well.
have
Evie.
to move to adjourn, right?
Right.
Yeah. It was a pleasure, everyone. Okay.
Yes.
Roll call. Roll call.
Oh, yeah, do we have to approve? We have to do a roll call
Oh,
to approve
yes.
everything.
Oh,
And
sorry.
then,
Okay, so should we go through and approve all of the decisions made on applicants 1 through 25?
No, we did not. I apologize. I will make a motion to approve the decisions made on our applicants numbers 1 through 25.
second,
Third.
So I will go through everyone and ask for a vote. I think we lost Helen. Oh,
I
boy.
don't think you have to go. We've never gone.
Oh,
through
we
each
don't have to?
person.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. Okay.
That's why I was shaking my head before. We don't go back through it again.
well, I think Jonathan he's just gonna ask each of us if we approve,
Correct.
just a roll call vote.
Oh, but not, I'm
Roll
saying you don't have to go through each one, each applicant.
Correct.
No.
Roll call.
Okay, good. Mhm.
Okay, so Helen, we lost unfortunately, but Jill,
Yes, I approve what we
Stan?
just discussed.
Approve.
Patrick,
Approved.
Evie,
Yes.
and Jonathan, I approve. Okay.
Take care of yourself, Evie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
take care. Be
Good
well.
luck, Evie. Hope
Yeah.
everything goes well.
Guys, and
Thank
I
you,
will be in
everyone.
touch.
So now we have a motion to
Right.
adjourn. Do we need that?
Oh,
You can go.
I
Okay,
second the
motion-
motion I
Unless you
second
had
it
something
to
else.
adjourn.
okay.
Good to see
Um,
everybody. Good job.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Approved. All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Aye.
Bye.